Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Ringside Rundown podcast. My name is Erik Vasquez, and joining me on the line is my podcasting partner in crime. Yes, that rhymes. Coming straight from the Berg, she is none other than Shay Hickson. Ooh, Shay, what's going on, my friend? How are you this week?
Not too bad. I can't really complain. Just hanging in there, doing the adult stuff, as we always love to talk about. So,
Right. Football season started, and your Steelers are off to a good start.
I don't know if I'd say that was a good start, but
Always the pessimist. I mean, you won, okay? You won. You're not like my
our
Giants.
defense sucked. Our defense was ass, but yeah, we won. It's just I wish we could do it in convincing fashion and not by the skin of our teeth.
Well,
But
Aaron Rodgers' debut gets 4 touchdowns. Not bad, not bad. You got to give it to the old guy. I'm sure that
I can't
makes you
complain.
happy.
He was the one of the very few, if not the only good thing besides Chris Boswell for us on Sunday. So if you can keep that going, I'll be happy about it.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Contrary to what you are listening to, this is not a NFL podcast. This podcast is a pro wrestling podcast where Shay and I discuss what's happenings in the world of professional wrestling, whether it be WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan, Ring of Honor, whatever have it. If it involves wrestling, we talk about it on this podcast. And this week we have a big week because we can finally get back to doing what we do best, and that is answering your questions about what is going on in the world of professional wrestling. I'm excited to get into it. We know, excuse me, we got a lot of questions on the WWE side, a lot of questions on the AEW side, so I'm really excited to get into tonight's episode.
Yeah, it feels like it's been forever since we've done a questions episode. It felt like for the longest time every week it was either a prediction or a recap episode. So
Right,
yeah,
and then that's what's gonna happen
yeah,
next week. Next week we got 2 shows that are happening on the same day. To give you predictions for, but that is next week. Like I said, this week we are answering your questions, and at the end of the podcast, I'll let you guys know how you can submit your questions for the next questions episode, and that way you could be a part of the fun here at the Ringside Rundown podcast. But Shay, she's in charge of the questions. She's got them in front of her, so let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. What do we have for this week?
All right, let's get into it. So we're gonna start off with Mom's questions and comments, and starting out hot. I mean, because we were gonna talk about this whether someone was asking about it or not, but you knew someone was going to. Was AJ Lee's return pop louder than CM Punk's? Sure sounded like
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, in some aspects, it did sound louder.
Yeah,
And you know what I have to equate that to? They're just coming back from the UK, from Europe, and all those
yeah,
European crowds that we've gotten now accustomed to. That we're only going to get because like they're doing that Road to Royal Rumble in 2026 where they're going all over the UK. So it's
yeah.
going to be like 3 straight weeks of us being subjected to these UK crowds, which is not a bad thing. I love these crowds, but I have to think the reason I say that is because they go from those European crowds to a wrestling town like Chicago. I feel like people in Chicago knew that, hey, we got to step it up. We can't just sit on our hands and be the typical American crowd. So I have to feel like, and it was a perfect moment. You couldn't ask
Yeah.
for a better moment when it comes to AJ Lee returning. I feel like a lot of what CM Punk's return about was just timing. Like
Yeah.
the timing was good for CM Punk to come back and be a part of the WWE. I think with AJ Lee, the story is very good. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh
this
yeah.
with adding Becky and Seth, and Becky's kind of part of the vision now, and she's kind of drinking the Kool-Aid that makes her husband crazy, and they're kind of two crazies, and he's trying to control her and appease her, and he's got to deal with CM Punk, who he viscerally hates, and now not only does he have to worry about CM Punk, now he's got to worry about CM Punk's wife because his wife couldn't keep her hands to herself. So
Yeah. Yeah.
the man is going through it, and the man I mean is Seth Rollins as the world heavyweight champion. Um, as far as the question, which pop was louder, and I don't know. Like CM Punk's return was like it felt like a movement. Like, yeah, we were just veering off course a little bit, but now we're back on track. You know,
Yeah.
it was something that we're gonna talk about, and that's the thing. I think they're both on the same level. Because what it boils down to is, in 5, 10 years, how are we going to view these moments? And these are going to still be legendary moments that we're going to talk
Yeah.
about. Both of them, AJ Lee and CM Punk. I mean, it's just fitting that it comes from the both of them, the married couple, and now they're going to try to take the reins of being WWE's it couple. And I'm just excited because AJ Lee signed a full-time contract, a
Yeah.
multi-year full-time contract. So she's going to be in the fold a lot. So now we're going to be able to see her mix it up with people like Roxanne Perez and maybe Bailey, you know, and things that we didn't get to see because she retired back in 2015. Now we're going to be able to see now, and it's starting off with Becky Lynch. I think this is fantastic. WrestlePalooza is shaping up to be a big deal.
Yeah, this is gonna be a wild show, that's for sure. Obviously, we'll save our full feelings for next week when we do the predictions. But yeah, I feel like it was just like kind of how we always say when it comes to these surprises where they're so obvious, but there's still always that little fraction of like in the back of your mind where you're like, is this actually gonna happen? Or are they gonna like pull something like different? Because he was kind of like swerving you a little bit, trying to
Yeah,
get you off track, where it was like, oh, well, maybe I can call Bailey, maybe I can call Rhea. And we even talked about if it wasn't going to be AJ Lee, Rhea probably would have been the next best bet. But when you finally get, oh, thank God it's AJ, it was just like, it almost was like a, I don't want to say a relief from the crowd, but
yeah,
it was almost just like a thank God it was actually her. And yeah, that was probably one of the loudest reactions I've heard in quite a while.
yeah,
And good for her. I mean, it's just it's crazy to think it's been 10 years. It's
yeah.
just been that long, but yeah, now we get all these dream matches. Like you said, she signed a multi-year, like full-time contract, so we get all these fun little matches. How you get her and Lyra Valkyria now? Like this is
Ooh,
gonna be fucking great. Like her
ooh.
and Rhea, like it's I can't wait. It's just
I,
obviously seeing her come back is like kind of a surreal thing for me because that was kind of when I was getting into women's wrestling was that era of like AJ and Paige and Caitlyn and all them. So just to see her finally back in an era where women's wrestling is much more prominent now, it's like, oh wow, this is gonna be fun.
yeah, it really is. And like it's just the timing could not be better. She looks like she's in fantastic shape,
She looks better
and
now.
yeah, she looks ripped. She looks
Yeah,
ripped. And like you said, all those people. I mean, I'm just thinking, like, you know, eventually they're gonna build maybe with a program with Liv Morgan when Liv comes back, and she's gonna have to
yeah,
worry about the Judgment Day. And Raquel's been doing so great as of late, that we can get AJ Lee Raquel matches, and it's just the possibilities with AJ Lee in the fold is almost endless. And you know, CM Punk is giddy. You see all the posts on
oh yeah,
social media of like just him just being completely enamored and in awe of his wife, and he's just, you know, he's got to be happy. He's got to be happy,
yeah,
and when he's happy, everybody else is happy. And shout out to Jack Perry, because if it wasn't for Jack Perry,
yeah.
man, none of this
Everything's
would
so
be
different.
happening. None of this would
Uh,
be happening. So shout out to Jack
uh.
Perry.
It's just the funny finger of fate, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
just
I love wrestling. I love wrestling. Like, it just, the timeline of everything that happens, and it leads to this moment because she's not gonna come back without her husband coming back first. You
no.
know, so it's like that had to happen in order for us to get this moment. It was like, and it's like now it's like, what big moment is there left? You know,
Yeah, really.
what big moment is there left? I feel like AJ Lee was the last of the big returns that we needed to happen. So what's left?
Yeah.
What is now we're knocking on some uncharted territory where it's going to be like now we need to see some people jumping ship possibly,
Yeah.
and you know, Next weekend is going to be kind of crazy because it's 2 shows on the same day, counter program, call it whatever you want it. It's interesting to be a wrestling fan. And this is exciting times, but AJ Lee definitely made it more exciting.
Yeah, I just can't wait to see what she does now. Like I said, the possibilities are just endless with her, so I am very excited to say the least.
So am I, so am I.
All right. Mom would like to know what's up with Jey Uso because she didn't see that whole thing coming with him and LA Knight. Yeah, I sure didn't either. That was odd. That
Yeah.
was very odd.
But you know what? I love it. I love it
Yeah,
because it's basically saying he's taking the right advice to heart, and
yeah,
the right advice comes from family, you know, and he's taking that to heart in saying, they're saying you have to stop looking out for everybody. You're out here looking out for LA Knight, you're out here looking out for Cody Rhodes, you're out here looking out for this person. You want to be in Roman's corner, and Roman goes to the hospital, almost saying you to the hospital. You got to start worrying about yourself, you know, and stop taking advice from other people that are not family. Um,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, which is like I get that, but also sometimes family doesn't give the best advice. So
no,
maybe that's
no,
not
you,
me.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
It's just
I
you
get
can,
it though.
yeah, you can kind of tell with Jay. There were too many cooks in the kitchen. There were too many
Oh
people in
yes.
his head telling him he has to do this, he has to do that. We have to team up together. We have to team up together against the Vision. We have to protect each other against the Vision. And it's like all of that is just leading to matches that Jey Uso has to focus on being the winner, and he's not being the winner. He is losing that focus, and
Yeah.
it's all of the unwelcome distractions. You know, he's got Punk in his ear. He's got LA Knight bickering with him now, and and honestly, I feel like this part of this was, you know, you put me in a compromising position earlier, so I had to get my lick back, basically. Because you know,
Yeah.
when Jimmy was asking him, now are you good? Are you good now? He's like, yeah, we're good now. We're good now. So
Yeah.
a part of me believes he was just seeking to get his lick back,
Yeah.
basically. And unfortunately, LA Knight was the cause of that.
Yeah, and you know he's not going to take that very lightly, so they're going to probably come to blows again
Making a
sooner rather than
match,
later.
making him. I would love to see LA Knight versus Jey Uso. You know,
Yeah.
this is one of those situations where you can have a good guy versus good guy, no problem, and
Yeah.
it's just they have a natural beef with each other that needs to be handled in the most proper way, and that's inside of the wrestling ring.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you can't blame him. Like you said, it's just you have so much stuff getting thrown at you in all different directions. Eventually you're going to snap. So I mean, you can't fault the guy. You can't blame the guy. I mean, I'm sure somebody, I mean, LA Knight will probably fully blame him, but what do you want the guy to do? It's just it's that whole kind of like relatability thing where if
Mm-hmm.
you get told so many different things from so many different people, your head's going to start spinning. At some point, you're just going to have to make the decision of, look, this is what I'm going to do for me, because at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, it's just going to be me. It's going to be
Right.
nobody else. I have to deal with the aftermath and the consequences of my own actions, and me trying to help you is getting my ass handed to me week after week. So
Right. Right.
I don't blame him.
Right, and that is why WWE is in the position that they're in, because now they're understanding the best storylines are the relatable ones. You know,
Hmm.
stuff that we as normal people, as normal viewers, can sink our teeth into. It's that relatability. We can relate to the product. We can relate to the stories that we're seeing on TV because we've been in those positions before where we had thousands of people in our ear telling us we have to do this, we have to do that. We have our bosses in our ear, our co-workers, our friends,
Hmm.
our family, all telling us we have to live our life a certain way, that sometimes you just snap, you know,
Yeah.
and you just go off the deep end. I think this was a justified way of saying, you put me in the compromising position earlier in the show on Raw that got me squashed by Bronson Reed, and you showed no remorse for that. You didn't even say sorry to me. So
Yeah.
therefore, I took that as a slight, and I had to take you out and show you I'm not gonna let that slide. He stood on business and said he's not just gonna let somebody put him in that position and be okay with it. It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just deal with too much, and you just gotta go at it. If only you could actually do that in real life, though. But unfortunately, you can't just spear the person that causes you the most stress, because that is unfortunately illegal outside of the wrestling ring.
It's kind of takes you back to the Attitude Era, and what made the Attitude Era so popular is that we were able to vicariously, well, adults were able to
Yeah.
vicariously live through Stone Cold, and they weren't able to go out there and hit their boss with the stunner, but they can watch Stone Cold Steve Austin do it. It's just like you said, we can't go out and spear our coworkers when they slight us, but that happens in the WWE, and we can live vicariously through that.
Exactly, and that's all that matters sometimes. Sometimes you just want to look at it and go, you know what? I wish I could do that. I know I can't, but I can at least enjoy it happening to somebody else.
Right, exactly.
Just live in the fantasy world, I guess, of if only, if fucking only. But unfortunately, though, like I said, that would cause you to go to jail, or at the very least get fired from your job. So please don't do that, guys. Don't take our.
Don't spear any of your coworkers.
Imagine it. Don't actually do it.
And don't
All
tell
right.
people you're imagining it either. That makes you weird.
Yeah, that is an inside thought that you should keep inside your brain at all times.
Yeah.
Never let that come out of your mouth, because that is how you eat lunch alone in your car. But anyway, all right. So, all right, move over to AEW for a minute. Can we finally get rid of the Death Riders and keep them away from Stat? They're making me
Ooh.
nervous. They're making me nervous. I don't like it. See, and we thought months ago that this is finally it. The Death Riders are gone. We don't have to deal with them anymore. They just won't die. They just keep coming back. And I don't want them to just leave Stat alone. I agree. Leave Stat alone. He's doing fine with Harley and them. I mean, hell, she got herself a world title shot. So, I mean, there's that. But
I'm torn.
I have a bad feeling about it.
I'm torn because part of me looks at it and says Stat is a great fit for the Death Riders. She just it just kind of works. But the other part of me is like what you said, her thing with Harley Cameron right now is really cool. And like Wheeler Yuta's the one doing he's doing
Yeah.
the advocating for Stat, and I'm just like, I look at Wheeler Yuta and I'm just like, yeah, he's just not that guy for me. But I am intrigued as to what Moxley sees in her, because Moxley doesn't say anything. Moxley
No.
just talks to her kind of cryptically and then walks away. He doesn't say, yeah, we want you in the Death Riders. We look at you as a potential fit for the Death Riders or anything like that. It's very cryptic. So it's interesting. Like, this is the one time I'm kind of interested in the Death Riders. I wasn't interested in the entire heavyweight championship run, but now I am a little bit. So I have to see where this is going. If Statlander is going to maybe go to the dark side, and maybe this elevates Harley Cameron, because Harley Cameron's going to be torn, and Harley Cameron's going to want to try to save her, and
Yeah.
prevent her from going to the dark side. And the only way that Chris Statlander can complete that journey is if she takes out Harley Cameron. And I would love to see a Harley Cameron Chris Statlander match as much as I'm enjoying this tag team.
Yeah, that would be fun, but I still would like to see them do something with Stat and Willow, because they've been like tiptoeing around it for months now, and it's just like, guys, you have to pay it off at some point, because how many times are we going to see them kind of run into each other, and then it's like, oh, you guys ran into each other again, and then inevitably there's going to be another interview segment backstage of, oh, so you guys had another awkward like interaction. What's up with that? And it's just like, okay, guys, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, they're kind of doing that a lot with the women's division in AEW outside of Tony Storm, because you have the same 8 women fighting each other week after week in different combinations, and it's like, guys, pay it off at some point. Like, how have we not had blood and guts yet? Like, this could be an easy blood and guts match. You have the Triangle of Madness, you have Penelope Ford, you have Megan Bayne, you have Stat, you have Harley, you could throw Willow in there, you have Queen Aminata, you have, I don't know what the heck's up with, like, Ty Mello and Anna Jay. Is like one of them hurt or something, because they're kind of like not there anymore.
I don't
So
know. That's a good question.
I don't know what's up with that, but it's just like, okay, well, you guys have been doing this. Like, how many brawls have these like women had for weeks now? And the best you could give them right away was a match on the pre-show of the last pay-per-view. Like, you couldn't have put that on the main show, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I feel like they have some interesting stories, but there's a couple there too where it's like, guys, you gotta do something. You gotta end it, actually go forward with it, quit tiptoeing around it, because we need to see it. We need more. At least
I
I think so.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, there is some plot holes that can be covered up with using certain people, and that's the good thing that they had the depth for it. They do,
Yeah.
like you said, you ran through a lot of different names that they could use and they can put into these certain matches to make things more interesting, which hopefully you can only keep your fingers crossed and hopefully Tony Khan uses them correctly.
That would be nice. I mean, I will say I was a little confused watching Collision when we ended up getting what the 4-way for the title at All Out, because it sounded at first to me, didn't it kind of sound like, oh, it was going to be like a 6-woman tag? It really sounded at first it was going to be Tony, Stat, and Jamie against the Triangle of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just all of a sudden was like, oh yeah, no, actually it's just a 4-way with Tony, Stat, Jamie, and Tekla. And I'm like, okay, well, that was not really worded very well, because I don't know, maybe I just interpreted it wrong, but it just kind of seemed like, because she wasn't really pointing specifically at Tekla. I thought she was just kind of generally pointing in the direction of Triangle of Madness. So that's why
Right.
I thought it was a tag match. And I'm like, okay, well, that's really weird having your champion in a tag match. Then the title has nothing to do with it. But then it turned into, oh, yeah, actually, no, it's a 4-way. So I was a little confused. Again, I don't know if it was just me, but maybe it was just me. I don't know.
No, yeah, like Tony Khan is really in love with these multi-person matches. It's crazy how many multi-person matches you get. At least 2 or 3 on Dynamite. You get like 2 on Collision. He
The All
re-
Star
he,
tag matches.
he really loves those multi-person matches.
They're all star, thank you, all star tag matches,
Oh
because that seems
yes.
to be his favorite thing. They're definitely, it is definitely a crutch of his, and clearly he's not letting go of that crutch anytime soon. But I
Man.
get it. You want people to be involved, but it's also like, you have to have it make a little bit of sense. I mean, the
Yeah.
women's division, yeah, it makes sense. But then there's just some where it's like, oh, well, these two have a feud together, and then these two also have a feud together. So we'll just throw them all together because they all have intermingling storylines. It's like, okay, well, I don't know. I just don't see why you'd want to team up with somebody that has an issue with somebody else that has nothing to do with you. But I don't know. That's just,
Yeah.
like I said, it's just Tony's favorite crutch is those multi-people matches. And oh, I'm tired. I'm tired of those, but we're not going to get rid of those anytime soon, unfortunately.
No, I don't think so.
Now, all right. So she said to get well to Swerve and Will. Yeah, we're losing everybody right now. Like,
Yeah, this is
everybody in
not.
AEW's dropping like flies.
Yeah, this is not a good time for everybody to start dropping like they have been, unfortunately, in AEW. The only positive is now that means that other people can step up in their absence. I mean, Darby Allin can get back to prominence.
Yeah.
Without Will Ospreay being there and Swerve Strickland not being there. There's other people that can rise, and like Kyle Fletcher can be a
Oh yeah.
bigger star now, because now that's the match that's gonna happen is gonna be Hangman Page versus Kyle Fletcher. So that's a big deal in itself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of interested, like, how is it gonna work for the titles wise, but the match itself, it's gonna be great.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I agree. It's just it's kind of sad. It's just that really bad timing, like you said, because perfect example, AEW is going to be back in Pittsburgh in a couple weeks. Actually, it's literally the Dynamite after All Out,
Hmm.
and believe it or not, this is, I guess, breaking news. I don't know. This is going to be the first AEW show in Pittsburgh I miss
Oh no.
because, well, for you and I have a very good reason for it. I'm getting a tattoo that day, so
Oh,
I
okay. Yeah.
didn't. So that makes up for it. It's fine. But and it bummed me out for a little bit. But then it's like the more I thought about it, I'm like, who the fuck's gonna actually be there? Swerve's gone, Osprey's gone, Jay White still isn't back yet. What I mean, like Malachi's gone, Britt's not coming back for as far as we know. So it's like, what's not that is what's the point of going? It's just a little tough to spend that kind of money when most of the people you would want to see are either A, not there anymore, or B, injured or in purgatory, I guess. So yeah, unfortunately, the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? Tattoos are more worth the money anyway, so it's like it's fine, but it had to happen at some point. But yeah, it's just a shame because it's like you're really missing a lot of people. But on the flip side, like you said, you can have more people step up and shine because it's like, all right, well, you don't have the excuse of, oh, well, these people are all in the spotlight and I don't have a chance. Well, here's your chance. You could not have a better chance than you do right now. So step up, and if you make it, great. If not, then that's gonna suck for you when they come back. But I feel like most of the people you mentioned, like Kyle, Darby, they don't need to worry about it because they're talented enough as it is. Are we gonna get Garcia back in some form of popularity? Who knows? But we'll see. But yeah, it's just kind of sucks when all the fan favorites and everybody are gone. It's like, well, damn. Like now, what do you do? It's
Yeah.
weird,
I
but
mean, and you know what? I was just reading earlier too that Wardlow
yeah.
is gonna be out of action for the foreseeable future because he might have a torn pectoral muscle.
Dude
So
can't catch a break, clearly.
so he comes back and now he's already hurt. So again,
Yeah, I heard that. Supposedly he heard it while he was coming back, so it's like you literally just came back and tore your pec in the same night, I guess. As far as
uh,
at least that's what I thought. But I'm like, God damn, dude, like, you have any shittier luck than that?
that
Damn.
is bad luck, and that's the yeah. I think AEW's just been snake bitten with a lot of bad luck.
Yeah, which I mean, it happens to everybody, so it is what it is. You just kind of you roll with the punches, but
Yeah.
god damn, that doesn't make it any easier. Because shit, that's it's sad, but oh well. Alrighty, let me. I don't know why. Love technology. Just click out of it. All right. Do we think AEW is staying too long in the ECW arena?
Hmm.
Um, I mean, the worst part is even if we say yes or no, it clearly doesn't matter because they do love running these like multi-week stays in these
Yeah.
places. It's kind of cool though. It's a different kind of vibe. So I
Yeah.
mean,
I
I'm not
like
mad at it.
yeah, I like it because I like the small intimacy of the whole thing. You know?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I you know, I like the fact that the fans can see everything and it feels like those fans are much more vocal than the ones that you would get at the 10,000 plus seat arenas
yeah.
and things like that. So I'm into the whole intimate vibe. It reminds me of like old school like Shotgun Saturday Night from WWF. You know, it gives me that sort of
Hmm.
vibe. So I'm into it, and it's only for a little bit, and then they move on to another place. So interested to see what they do next.
Yeah, because I think they're going into. I think their next stay is in what, New York, I believe. I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember. It's just like, hey, I mean, if a building's willing to shell out the money and AEW is willing to go there, then I mean, why the hell not? I mean, at least you kind of know what you're going to get from the crowd early on.
Right.
Like, especially Philly. Philly crowds is as much as as much as I don't like Philadelphia, they definitely have some very vocal crowds.
They
So
sure do. Yeah, that's the truth.
sometimes bordering obnoxious, but you know, that's just Philly in it's just Philly in a nutshell. But yeah, no, the crowds have been pretty good over there so far, so I can't really complain. And yeah, I'm all right with it staying there for now. But they will have to move on to bigger and better things at some point. But I mean, maybe they might start doing this more often. They might start just picking specific cities and like specific smaller venues and having these like stays, or I don't know what they really call them. There's probably a term for them
They
or
call you.
something.
They usually call them like residencies.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's like you do like a residency and like every other month or so, just pick a different venue and do a residency there for a week, and why the hell not? I mean, seems to be bringing in some money because they've been doing this for a couple months now, haven't
right.
they? So
Yeah.
why not?
I always said the smaller intimate venues seem to fit AEW the best. It's not
Yeah,
necessarily the 10,000 plus seat arenas that work well for AEW. It's more so the smaller arenas like the ECW arena and things like that. I think that work best for them. It makes the shows more. It's just like you said. It's a different vibe. It's just a
yeah,
different vibe.
like livens up the crowd a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does. It livens up the show when the crowd is into the show and into what's going on. And so far, it hasn't felt like the Philly crowd has tried to hijack anything.
No, thank God for that because you always kind of run that risk.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, there's certain cities that you get a little nervous about because whenever they feel like it, they can just turn on you, and when they do, oh boy. But nah, it seems to be pretty good so far, so we can't really complain about it. All right, so mom's last comment, we kind of already touched on it a little bit. We need Switchblade back now. Yeah, I know, because
he's
Bullet,
another one.
Bullet Club's just falling apart. They got rid of Card Blade. I was upset about that. Like, I get it. You want to be serious, but do you have to get rid of the cardboard cutouts? Those are always fun. I always like
Man.
them. I mean, hell, I have a card plate sitting in my living room right now, so it's fun. But I get it though. They want to be taken more seriously, and now they're half of them are gone. It's like, again, we're losing everybody. But yeah, I we need Jay back. It's just he just brings that certain aura and that certain like energy and charisma to AEW. When he's not there, it's like, huh, this is
Man,
kind of
if
off.
if he wasn't so struck by the injury bug, you'd gotta wonder why he hasn't been heavyweight champion at least once since he's
Yeah,
gotten to AEW, and he's not even been in the main event picture either. I
w-
can't remember a time where he was like the main event focal point. I mean, he would have been great to go up against Moxley, and
yeah,
unfortunately, they weren't able to do that because of injury. So it's kind of like it's kind of like what could have been if there wasn't so much injury going on.
yeah. I feel like that's just always the most fascinating thing, especially with wrestling. We kind of touched on it a little bit earlier with the whole AJ Lee thing and the Punk thing. What would have happened if that whole thing with Jack Perry never happened? Like,
Hmm.
how different would literally everything be? Because you could say, oh, well, maybe it was like some minor things here and there. No, it would have shifted a lot of things in the world of professional wrestling as a whole. So it's just it's always odd and just cool, but also just very strange how one simple little thing can just change the course of wrestling history forever. And yeah, it's just fascinating. I guess that's the only thing I can come up with. Is just fascinating to
It
me.
really is.
But no, we do definitely need Jay back. I
Yeah.
miss him. It's been too long, and unfortunately, I don't think we're getting him until next year. I think they said at this
Wow.
rate. I don't even think they said. They just said, "Oh yeah, he's pretty much out for the foreseeable future," and he was
Oof.
already out since God. I don't even remember the last time he was on TV. It was a long time ago. Too long,
Yeah.
honestly. It's just been so long that I can't even remember it. But yeah, we need him back because he would have been great, like you said during the whole Death Riders versus everybody thing. He would have been great for like
Yeah.
Team AEW, but unfortunately, it was not meant to be. Right. So that was all of Mom's questions and comments. So, Mom, thank you as always. We
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Mom.
All right, so we're going to move on to our final set from Mike. And his first question is whew, which wrestling disaster story do we want to tackle first? Raja Jackson's assault and subsequent booking shortly thereafter, or Matt Riddle not being able to keep Punk out of his mouth?
Ay, ay, ay,
Talk about fucking disasters. Like, yeah,
yeah.
it's just.
I mean,
I mean, you could have honestly stopped and Matt Riddle couldn't keep his mouth shut, period, because that just seems to always be his issues. He doesn't know when to shut up. But
and a lot of what Matt Riddle says, it's like, yeah, that doesn't add up, man. Like,
No, it's the attention. He just wants the
yeah,
attention
yeah,
because he's been
that's
so irrelevant for so long that just say anything to get clicks, I guess.
and it's sad. It's sad that people have to resort to that to feel important or to get some sort of ego boost or whatever.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. The other situation with Roger Jackson, I don't know what the hell was the thought process going into any of that. Like,
No.
it felt like some cheap way to make a headline that went completely off the rails,
Yeah.
and it ended up costing them their WWE ID affiliation, which is
Uh-huh.
why would you want to fuck up the money? Like
Yeah. You had it right there.
like don't fuck up the money, especially on some dumb shit like this, cuz it
Yeah.
was dumb. I mean,
Thank God the
this
guy didn't die. If he would have
yeah.
died, good God,
Oh
like,
my god, like he was on the verge of death, and it was just like it was
yeah.
scary. It was
Mhm.
scary. Like, that whole situation was just completely just stupid, dumb indie dumb shit. It just like
Yeah.
made no was no purpose for it.
And that's the sad thing is just that some people have that like perception of indie wrestling because of shit like that, where it's like, oh, it like look down upon indie wrestling because they do dumb shit like that, or they do like some people don't like the death matches, so they'll look down on GCW or whatever. But you do shit like that, and then you wonder why people have that perception of you. Like,
Right.
it's look, I get the guy's a fighter, but you would think that if you know he's a fighter and you tell him, hey, just actually go for it, don't try to like fake it, you could kill somebody. You could, if you really wanted to, and you're trained in MMA and whatnot and everything, you could probably kill somebody if you really wanted to. And the fact that that guy didn't die is a miracle. It's great that he didn't, but it's just like, what was the point, guys? You had you had the WWID affiliation, and you lost your money just because you wanted to be edgy, or just because you thought it was a good idea. Whoever thought that was a good idea
Mm.
needs just fired permanently, just like taking them out of wrestling. Period. Because I don't know. It's just you look at this kind of stuff and you shake your head because to any normal person, you'd be like, yeah, of course we're not going to do that because that's fucking stupid and that would just jeopardize literally everything we've worked towards. And yet, some people convinced whoever that, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Trust us, we know what we're doing. And now you've irreparably damaged your reputation. And no one's going to probably want to ever really trust you or work with you again of importance. So, congratulations. I hope it was worth it.
Yep. I mean, the couldn't have said it any better myself. It was just not worth the publicity that you got from it. It just wasn't worth it. It's just bad press. And
Yeah.
sometimes bad press isn't the best way to go. You know, um,
Yeah. Yeah. You
it's
can't always use that excuse of like, oh, but I mean, at least it got us attention. It's like, okay, but you kind of actually need attention for good reasons and not bad.
yeah, yeah,
Like, because yeah, you might get better attention initially with bad press or whatever, but then no one's going to want to deal with you anymore and now you're gone. So, was it really worth it?
yeah.
People, I tell you, it's always something.
Hmm.
Okay. Do we think Wade Barrett is away for disciplinary reasons for what he said about Nikki Bella, or do we think WWE just gave him time off since they were in Europe?
I'm going with what Wade Barrett said, and he was just given time off.
Yeah.
I think it was just. I don't even think what he said about Nikki Bella was necessarily all that bad. Like, but
No.
that's just me. And if Nikki Bella took offense to it, who am I to tell her that she's wrong in how she felt? That's not my place. It's just
Mhm.
me personally. I thought he was just doing his analytical duty of just coming up with the story. Like, hey, can she get it done? It's a different era. It's not the same era as it was before. I
Yeah,
didn't see anything wrong with it, but apparently it was very controversial. Apparently,
I guess.
yeah, I don't know, but I'm going with what Wade Barrett said. Wade Barrett said he was granted time off by the company, and he had this time off a while ago. So I'm just gonna go with that and not feed into the drama because it's just not for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it really I didn't really think it sounded that bad either, but clearly if her feelings were hurt for it, then, they supposedly they talked about it and hashed it out and it's fine. And even though what was it, Wade Barrett said there's like it's still a difference of opinion or something, so clearly something's still not there. But yeah, I mean, just give him the time off a little bit, let the whole thing blow over, and then he'll come back and it'll be like nothing ever happened because it really wasn't as bad as we've of some other things we've heard in the past. So
Oh,
it's
for
like,
sure.
okay, sure, if that's what we're gonna die on, then fine, I guess, go off. But yeah, I'm sure, like I said, it won't be too terribly long, and then I'll be back and nothing will have changed. But
Pretty much. That's how wrestling works.
yeah, whether you want to admit it or not, it just keeps going. Whether you wish some people would go away or not. But all right, we touched on this a little bit earlier. So Wardlow comes back just to get injured. What terrible luck. I guess that explains why he hasn't been seen since he came back. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that at first because I'm like, okay, you brought him back and now where the hell is he? So I thought it was kind of strange until we actually knew the real reason why. But at first it's just kind of like, really? Is he that unimportant to you guys that he shows up and then just never shows up again? But yeah, no, unfortunately he's just yeah, got some really shit luck, especially if that whole rumor was true and he tore the pec during that whole like return angle, then God, that is not that is that's a little cruel fate there, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. I
Especially
felt
for as long as he was out.
Yeah, I feel bad for him because
Yeah,
like you said, he was out for a while, and now he's gonna be out. If it's a torn pec, he's gonna be out for at least what, like 9 months.
at least, yeah.
So like
Yeah.
Jesus, like, and then by then it's like, well, we have to think of something else for you to do now because like the
Yeah.
whole Don Callis thing is just out the window now.
Yeah, and any plans you had, you're gonna have to rework because you're gonna have to justify it. Because I mean, granted, really wasn't a whole lot other than just the fact of he was part of the family, and yeah, kind of had that stare down with Takeshita. So I mean, I guess you don't really have to over explain that one. Just I don't know, you might just have to try and explain why all of a sudden he's gone, even though it's like we all know why. But I don't know if they're gonna address that or if they're just gonna clearly just ignore it as if nothing ever really happened. Um, they might just completely ignore it. Who knows? But or maybe they'll. I don't know. It'd be interesting if they kind of spun it into like Takeshita being like, "Yeah, I took him out because we didn't need anybody else. You already had like a powerhouse kind of person or a multiple powerhouse kind of people, and I didn't want any more competition." I guess maybe if they
Mm,
wanted to, but I'm not so sure they're gonna actually do that. But I think that'd be kind of be like interesting. But that's just me. But yeah, I feel bad for him because uh, you could not have any worse luck if you tried at all.
you really
Like,
couldn't. You really couldn't. On the return
no.
angle, you tore your puck, your pec, and it just like it's just like we you couldn't even tell even watching it at home like that's what
Yeah,
happened. You like there was
yeah,
no indication that he got hurt or anything like that. So it was just like, man, this is some really shitty luck. And again, it's really shitty luck for AEW because they're bitten by the injury bug as it is with Swerve, Osprey, Switchblade, all out with injury. They can't afford another person out, and Wardlow could have
no.
definitely boosted the roster a little bit.
Yeah, so hopefully they get like the fate decides that they've had enough and gives them a break because God knows they all need it. But yeah, this is a really weird time to be an AEW fan right now because half the roster's hurt.
Yeah,
So that's fun. But yeah, it's just I mean, hell, A or WWE's had like eras like that, so it's not like it's exclusive to just AEW, but yeah, it's just always just a shame when it happens to any company because then it's like, God damn, you guys can't catch a break, can you? So
yeah.
it's just the ebbs and the flows of being a wrestling company, I suppose. You just kind of take the good with the bad because you have to. That's just life in general. You take the good with the bad and move on because eventually it will get better. It's just right now it doesn't really seem like it if you're Tony Khan, but
Poor Tony
it could be
Khan.
worse. Yeah, poor guy is doing not doing so well, but At least AEW as a whole is doing pretty good, though. I mean, it could be a lot worse. We've definitely had some rougher patches than this. It's just a shame that now that we're starting to kind of get the hang of things, everybody you would need to like go full throttle is not there. So
Yeah.
we'll see if he can handle it. I would like to think he could, but it's not like he hasn't faced adversity before, unfortunately, just in different forms. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so Jordan Grace made Blake Monroe bleed this past Tuesday on NXT, and the camera really focused on Monroe's reaction to bleeding. Does this maybe signal a character turn for Monroe? I keep wanting to say Mariah. I'm sorry. It still hasn't stuck with me yet. But could this be like a character turn for her? I feel like it could be because I feel in AEW she definitely had that side of yes, I'm the glamour. I'm like the world's most gorgeous woman alive. But if she really wanted to, she had a mean streak, and she was not afraid to get down and dirty, get clearly bloody, as we've seen in multiple matches. So I feel like maybe this is just that coming out in NXT version and Blake
Hmm.
Monroe's version. So I hope so, because I mean, honestly, she's great in whatever she does, but I do always love when she has that little bit extra edge to her because I think it brings out more depth in her character, so she's not just one-dimensional, like pretty blonde.
Right.
She's a pretty blonde, but could also snap you in half if she really wanted to and wipe your blood all over her face. So
Right.
she's
Yeah.
bad when she wants to be.
Yeah. I think it adds to her character as somebody that just because she's this pretty blonde, beautiful woman, basically a goddess, like you said, doesn't mean that you can just walk all over her because she has been trained to take people out.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was a neat way to do it to make sure that they don't like there's balance between her and Jordan Grace as to she's not afraid of Jordan. She
No.
doesn't want to be in a situation with Jordan Grace, but this situation has led to her bleeding. So now
Hmm.
she has to go into that next level because she realizes she can't escape Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
So this kind of gives her a kind of leg up as like, oh, we can't just expect Jordan Grace to run over Blake Monroe because it's just not gonna go that way.
Yeah.
It's just I'm just really happy for her because she's getting to do what she's always wanted to do, and that's be a part of the WWE system. And
Yeah.
she worked hard to get to where she's at. So she's definitely putting her everything into this Blake Monroe character. It's working, and now we get to see that sort of darker side to her that we saw in other places like AEW when she would have to go to that certain place when she was going up against Tony Storm and everything like that. Isn't it interesting? Like, if you really take a look at Mariah May's entire career in AEW, it's really all just centered around Tony Storm and nobody else.
Yeah. Pretty much.
She never really had a rivalry with anybody outside of Tony Storm.
Now, which is a shame because I mean, I feel like, I mean, obviously knowing now what we might have known back then, it's just like, it's kind of a shame that they didn't really do more with her title reign, but I feel like obviously maybe she kind of already told them, look, when my contract's up, I'm not resigning. Like AEW was kind of like a stepping stone for me. So maybe would we really be surprised if Tony was just like, "Oh, well, fuck you then, and we're just
Hmm.
gonna give you an average reign," which is it's a shame. Just I mean, we always say like the title reign after the build up like that is never gonna be as good as the chase for it.
Right.
However, they never really like gave her a fair chance. Like, and this sounds terrible, but it's the truth. But when you start off her reign against Anna Jay,
Mm.
wasn't the best sign of things to come because she could have had so much more that they just didn't capitalize on. But I guess clearly they just saw the writing on the wall and they're like, well, what's the point of putting any effort into her? She's not going to stay. So it's a shame. But now she gets to fully be, I would think, unleashed in NXT and inevitably, I would think, the main roster. But yeah, I'm excited to see the dark side of Mariah Blake Monroe again because that was some of my favorite stuff she did in AEW with her and Tony Storm. So I cannot wait to see her do that with Jordan Grace, because Jordan Grace is not going to hold back either. So this is
Yeah.
going to be painful,
Yeah,
but fun.
it's gonna be fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, I honestly cannot wait, because our matches have been pretty good so far. So I will definitely be looking forward to the next one. All right, so we are. Let me double check just to make sure. Okay, so we're at the last question of the night. And of course, we had to end on this one because this one was going to be a very, very fun one. So DDP had just shared an interview he did with Britt Baker earlier in the year. I think he put it on his Twitter, I believe, or might have put it on all his social medias or whatever. And tweeted at Tony Khan asking when he was inviting her back. So is DDP now going to be shadow banned from AEW? Probably. And that's not even us being funny. That's just clearly how Tony Khan is. If you slight him, he's just going to be very petty and childish about it. So would I be surprised if, DDP gets taken off the guest list? Probably. It probably seems likely, but it's also not really. The sad thing is, though, is that he's not really wrong. Like, if she's supposedly in good shape and whatnot, and the fact that you're just not giving her a chance because you're being kind of petty about it right now, that's kind of on you, Tony, because she could be making you money. I mean, granted, you're going to have to, unfortunately, have an uphill battle trying to change some minds. Obviously, there's some wrestling fans' minds you're not going to change about Britt, but especially with the way the last little run ended, you kind of left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. So you kind of have to work on building her back up as someone who could be a formidable opponent. And we've always said we love Britt, but compared to some of the other women on the roster, especially now, it's just night and day. And so she'd have to play catch up for quite a while to get on the level of some of these other women. And do they want to put that much effort into her? And clearly, at least as of right now, the answer is no, because where's she been? All she's doing is just on social media, doing her stuff, doing whatever she wants to do, because what the hell else is she going to do except get paid to sit at home and do nothing, which sounds like a dream job to me, but, it's just, all things considered, though, it's kind of shitty, but I just think DDP's not wrong. It's like, if supposedly, and I mean, she's worked with him multiple times in the past and probably is working with him right now. So if he sees what nobody else has really seen and is going to ask that kind of question, then he's got a point. If she's in good of a shape as he says she is, then why is she not doing anything?
Yeah, it's very interesting that she's not being used. You don't want to you don't want to automatically assume that it's Tony Khan being petty, but it's kind of hard to, like, if she's not hurt, she's good to go. What's going on? I mean,
What are we doing?
You can definitely, you can't say, oh well, just don't have anything for her to do, because she's the type, she's the type of talent that you make something happen.
Yeah.
You make something happen because you want her on the roster. So I don't know. I don't know with the Britt Baker situation. I hate to speculate because I'm not in the know. I don't have any sources or anything like that. So it's just like, I don't know what's going on. And if it's Tony Khan being petty, then that's just unfortunate. You don't always want to think the worst, but again, she's healthy. She's ready to go. She can go. She can wrestle for you, and she's just not. So obviously there's something up there.
Yeah, it's something. And obviously, if we were privy to that information, we would know what's going on, and we're not. So unfortunately, we're left doing what everybody else does and just speculate and assume. And I mean, I'm sure some stuff might come to light at some point, but it's also going to be that case of you're going to get one side, you're going to get another side, and then the truth's going to be in the middle, and no one's ever going to actually admit to what the actual truth is. So yeah, it's just a shame, because if you could get like Britt kind of like in her prime, like when she was the champion, that would have been great. But that remains to be seen if that will ever happen again. But for now, just I guess just be happy with the division we have because we have a really good division in AEW. They're like really, really good right now. So it's
Yeah.
just a shame that she could add to that. I think she could add to that. I'm sure somebody would disagree with me on the internet, but I don't fucking care. But but yeah. So it's just a shame, but obviously for at least God knows how long, we're just gonna have to sit and wait. And I think the big thing that a lot of people are kind of wondering about is, funny enough, we were talking about it earlier, the Pittsburgh show,
Mm.
because that would pretty much be your biggest indicator right there. Like, I've even had coworkers and friends who are going to the show ask, they're like, "Oh, do you think Britt's gonna show up? Do you think Britt's gonna show up?" I'm like, guys, if she doesn't show up to the Pittsburgh show of all things, don't count on her coming back
Yeah.
because Tony loves making a big deal out of the homecomings, no matter how small or insignificant somebody is on the roster or whatever. Well, not insignificant, that sounds mean, but it's just like a lower person on the card. He tends to do right by them in their hometown. So, and we've seen what he's done for Britt in Pittsburgh. So if she doesn't even show up and they don't even mention Britt, that pretty much should tell you all you need to know, unfortunately. So, maybe pay attention to the show just in case, but if not, you'll have your answer one way or the other by the end of the night.
Mm. Mm, 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 mm.
I
Can't
hate
wait to
it.
see what's gonna happen.
I am too, but I also don't because it's almost just like I don't know. I just when it comes to this kind of stuff, I it's fine. I find it very hard to be a little optimistic about it, especially for how much time's passed
Yeah.
because we've seen plenty of situations, not even the whole like hometown thing, but we've seen situations where she could have come back and they were like slam dunks for, okay, well, if you're going to have her come back during this. And she hasn't. So it's kind of a little tough, but I mean, maybe it's just that have that little extra hope just because it's her hometown, but I don't know, guys. And that's coming from me, and you guys know how much I love Britt, but I don't know. I don't know if you'll be seeing her on the Pittsburgh show or not, but I hope I'm wrong, but you're never gonna tell with Tony.
Wow. Well, there you have it. There's Shay's feeling on whether or not Britt Baker is going to be coming back to AEW. If not, what are her options? Does she fit in the WWE eye of things?
It's well, and it's tough too because at some point, well, and supposedly the rumor was that she had multiple years still on her deal. So if you're Tony Khan, what are you going to do then? Just say, for example, she had, I don't know, we'll just say she has like 3 years left on her deal. What are you going to do? Just have her sit there and pay her for 3 years to do nothing? Like, that doesn't really make a lot of business sense. So at some point, you're either going to have to realize, hey, I probably should use this person I'm employing, or just cut the losses and move on. You kind of just can't, and it's also not really fair to Britt either, no matter how much supposedly, again, because we don't know what the actual truth is of how much of a terror she was backstage or what the fuck ever, but that still doesn't mean it's okay for you to just let her waste years of her career. If that would end up being the case, I don't think that's very fair to her either, so they're both kind of not really, I mean, again, Britt can only do whatever he lets her do, and clearly that's nothing right now, and it's just a shame because she could be doing something else, or she could be, I mean, I'm sure she's still training just in case she gets the call. It's not like she's probably just sitting there not doing anything, but it's kind of tough when all you're doing is just training and not putting that training to good use. So I can imagine it gets very old after a while. Like, of course, I joked earlier, oh yeah, sitting at home and getting paid gig, but it probably would for a little bit, but then the novelty wears off, and then you're just like, okay, well, I want to do something. I don't want to sit here all the time. You go stir crazy, but
Right.
I don't know. Like I said, it's just a shitty situation all around because it just could have been handled so much better, maybe on both ends, especially on one end with Tony Khan. But unfortunately, he has a history of being just petty if you make him mad. So it's not a surprise that we're in this situation. It's just sad that once again we're in this kind of situation.
Don't make Tony Khan mad or you will sit at home.
Yeah, you'll sit at home and he'll ignore your calls or something.
Yeah,
I don't
there
know.
you go.
But yeah, it's a shame. It's just shame. And of course, you have the people online being like, well, we don't want her. We want her to stay away. It's just like, okay, so you don't want someone to add something to the division just because you don't like them? Like perfect example. Am I the biggest fan of Raquel Rodriguez? No, but I at least know that she's definitely adding stuff to the WWE women's division right now. I'm not gonna be like that extremely like petty over it, and it's also not like she's, you know, done potential crimes, but it's just like if you just don't personally like someone, you can't. I don't know. It's very hard for somebody to openly not like a wrestler, but then also at the same time, it's almost like you can't admit that they're good at something. Like even if Britt's not the best in-ring performer, she's fantastic on the mic, but people can't really like give her that anymore. It's just like, well, nope, she's just a terrible person backstage and we don't want her anymore. It's like, okay, so you'd rather just lose out on somebody who can be decent in the ring and fantastic on the mic just because you just don't want them. Like, okay, cool, I guess. Thank God you're not in charge, but clearly that wouldn't matter either way because at the end of the day, she's not there still. So,
I kind of just chalk it up to the internet being its own little like echo chamber of just nonsense. Like I don't even view
yeah,
the internet as a real place, so it's just like
yeah,
cuz you're never going to please everybody on the internet.
yeah.
It's just not going to happen. You're not going to please
Like,
everybody. So like everybody's going to have a problem with something that you do, and
yeah,
that's just the way it is. As long as she is doing what she needs to do by her employer, whoever her employer is, that's all that matters. It doesn't
yeah.
matter what anybody says on the internet. They're just talking. And most of the time they're unemployed. So
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, because the fun thing I saw today was I don't even remember what the tweet was. It just was something about it was the DDP thing, and someone of course had to put in their 2 cents of they didn't want her and tried saying that she wanted to wrestle Mercedes and then ended up sandbagging her, and it's like, okay, so clearly you don't pass the eye test of a wrestling fan because you would think any decent wrestling fan should know the difference between not having chemistry with somebody and sandbagging them.
yeah,
Like, so, okay, guys, like if that's what we're gonna call it, we're gonna stretch that a little bit. I don't think sandbagging was the word that comes to mind. It's just okay to admit that chemistry wasn't there, which is a shame. But again, we've talked about that 5,000 times, and it's just like, God, you guys, do you, you just look at some of these people online and go, do you actually watch the wrestling, or do you just say shit out of your ass just for the sake of saying shit? Which I feel like that's more or less the case. But
that's what it feels like.
yeah, because I read that and I'm like, I am now slightly dumber than I was after like before I read that because that's not the case at all. But okay, buddy, if that's what you believe in your heart of hearts, and who am I to tell you? But it's just the internet wrestling community in a nutshell, unfortunately, is that they have a lot of opinions and a lot of those opinions are not good.
Not at all.
So before we get in any more trouble with that, because we could open a giant can of worms doing that, however, that is all of the questions from Mike. So Mike, thank you as always. We appreciate it. And I believe that is it. I think we did the thing.
All right. Well, thank
Pretty
you
quick
guys.
episode, can't complain.
Yeah, thank you guys for sending in those great questions, both on WWE and AEW. We appreciate them very, very much. Now, if you're wondering how you can send in your own question, that's very easy. Every Monday afternoon, head over to our Twitter account at Ringside Rundown on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. You can head over there every afternoon, Monday afternoon. We post up the questions tweet asking you guys to send us in questions for the podcast. You just drop it in the replies and it'll definitely be read. Other places you can drop them in is our Ringside Rundown Discord server has a podcast questions channel where you can drop your questions if you're part of the Ringside Rundown Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description. Wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast, it is in the description. So all you have to do is just copy the link, hit the green check mark, and you're in the Discord. And basically that's how you can send in your questions. This podcast is available all across the board on the internet on all podcast platforms. All you have to do is just search Ringside Rundown and hit the follow or subscribe button, whatever the platform asks of you. If you don't have a specific platform that you use, you can always find the episodes on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@ringside-run-pod. That's once again at Ringside Run Pod on YouTube. Full episodes available there as well if you don't have a platform that you use. Also, other places to get Ringside Rundown content. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, I am live at 8 o'clock in the evening Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, doing live watch-alongs of like Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, AEW Dynamite, and Collision. So come check me out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, twitch.tv/ringside rundown. That is where I have my fun. Shay, where can they get in touch with you?
You can find me on my wrestling Twitter at @ShayRingside_, just like Eric's, except I stole his account name and just put my name on it instead. So.
Yep, she stole my gimmick, but I let her have it since she takes everything else, like the championship, which will definitely, the championship will be coming home. We have a big episode for next week because we're gonna have to give predictions for 2 shows that are happening on the same day.
Oh boy.
Oh my
God.
God.
It's gonna be wild. We're gonna have to I might have to rapid fire some of these because we might be here all night.
Aren't we so lucky that we get 2 shows on the same day?
How lucky are we?
Oh, this is not counter programming or whatever they want to call it, right?
No, not at all. I mean, AEW moved their start time, so it's not counter programming anymore. But WWE did earlier. But AEW was smart. If I were them, that was a smart move, moving them out of the way. Because now you can't complain of, oh well, they picked one over the other. Now you can watch them both. You don't have an excuse.
My wonder is if AEW is going to make their pay-per-view go at least a half an hour longer to disrupt the start time to WWE's pay-per-view.
Oh, they might just be assholes about it, and I kind of hope they do, just for the drama of it all. That's the kind of petty stuff I want to see, not like contracts and stuff. But no, that's the petty shit that I live for. Is like,
there you go.
We'll just see them get pissed about it or something.
Well, that's all the stuff we're going to talk about next week. On next week's episode, are giving our predictions for WrestlePalooza and AEW All Out. But that's next week. So make sure you're subscribed up on any platform that you listen to podcasts or on the YouTube channel so you don't miss the episode. And remember, you can drop us a question on our Twitter account at Ringside Rundown, and we'll answer it here on the podcast when we have questions episode just like tonight. So hopefully you enjoyed the episode. I did. I had a great time recording with Shay. Thank you very much for everything. For Shay Hickson, my name is Erik Vasquez, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care.
See you later, guys.